Right, Oleg, today the topic of discussion is significators. So, this is a horoscope chart, and as you can see here, this is the first house, then this is the second house. We are going to discuss the second house significator in detail. In this horoscope chart, the second house is moon. Okay, now what we do is in KP system, you look at what planets are in the constellation of moon, and then you put it down, and then you see what planets are in constellation of sign Lord Pisces, constellation Jupiter. But in the numerology, you have to look at this moon, so we note it down here first, moon. Okay, so we note down moon here, so we write down moon, and then we do that, and that. So in the constellation of moon, if we go and look here, we find out, so these are the constellation marked, and then these are the sublords. So as you can see, the position: Sun 1919 Scorpio, Moon 1913 Pisces, Mercury 2931 Libra, Venus 149 Capricorn, and you can see so on. You can stop the video and have a look. Now in the constellation of moon, we have two planets, which is here Saturn and Jupiter. So Saturn and Jupiter is in moon constellation. So what happens is, we go here and we see Jupiter is in moon, and Saturn at 2005 Capricorn is in moon constellation. And then we say the significator of the second house. This is the first house cusp, second house cusp, and third house cusp, and fourth house cusp. So this is the second house. So we mark Saturn and Jupiter. So we say it is Saturn and Jupiter. So that's what KP does. KP says what are the planets in the constellation of moon. That's not how it is done. You have to look at also what are the planets in the sublord, and then what are the planets in the sign lord. So let's go and look at what are the planets in the sublord of moon, and then we come out here, and then we see very carefully the planets in the sublord of moon is here is Mercury 2931 Libra, Mercury, and that's all. There's one planet in the sublord of moon, okay, and that is planet Mercury. So what happens is, now we mark Mercury here, Mercury. So Mercury is sublord, is significator subwise. Saturn Jupiter is significator starwise, which is the KP wise. So we put KP wise here. So that's what KP does. And then this one here, cohesive, we say cohesive. Okay. And then now we go and have a look at what are the planets in the sign of moon. So let's see. Moon is ruled by Cancer, and then we come out here and you see what are the planets in sign of Cancer. So we have Mars here. Can you see Mars? One planet is Mars in Cancer. So there's only one planet in the sign of Moon. So the significator sign wise is Mars. Don't worry about whether it is retrograde or not. We don't take retrograde in this. So this is here again. So all in all, the significator of second house is KP says is Saturn and Jupiter, but it is also Mars and it is also Moon and Mercury, and then of course Moon is the planet occupant, and then Moon. Now, second house cusp is also cutting Pisces. As you can see, second house here 7 degrees and 36 minutes Pisces. So what we do is we go and have a look at the ruler of second house, and that is Jupiter. So you mark Jupiter and then again you make 3 lines like that. So this is the KP, the star, and then we sublot. This is the star wise, then we put sublot sign wise. So we go here and you see what are the planets in the constellation of Jupiter, KP style. So we find out that the planets in the star of Jupiter here is Mercury, and it looks like we got only Mercury. So planet Mercury is in the star of Jupiter. So that's what KP will tell you. So we will put Mercury here. How about the sublot? So we see what are the planets in the sublot of Jupiter here, because KP misses the sublot in the sign lord, and that is stupid, because you should not miss sublot and sign lord. So we go and have a look at what are the planets in the sublot of Jupiter. So we come out here, and again we see the planets in the sublot of Jupiter is Venus, 149 Capricorn, and we don't see anything else. Okay, only Venus. So the sublot of planet in sublot of Jupiter is Venus. So Venus becomes another significator. This is the KP style. Okay. So we have discussed Moon, which is occupying the second house there. Now we're going to the Jupiter. So KP style Jupiter, KP says you only look at the star. What planets are occupying the star of Jupiter? It's Mercury. But KP doesn't tell you sublot and sign lord. So sign lord of Jupiter is Sagittarius and Pisces. Let's see what are the planets in Sagittarius and Pisces. So here we go. Sign lord. So in Pisces we have Moon, and in Sagittarius, don't worry about Uranus and Neptune. We don't take Uranus and Neptune, sorry. So the only planet found in the sign of Jupiter is Moon. So what you do is you simply mark Moon here. So this is the Chandra style or cohesive style. Okay, this is the proper way of doing it. And then we have Jupiter itself. So all in all, second house significators are Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter. This is the proper significators. Now, if you are going to use the second house as the nakshatra dial, you have to be careful that the sign lord, star lord, and sub lord of second house is as follows: Jupiter, Saturn, and Ketu. So now we come out here and we mark the nakshatra dial. How we set up the nakshatra dial. So you go second house, make an arrow, and then what you do is you do that. Okay, and then you can say, okay, we have Pisces, and then you got star lord Saturn, and then sub lord Ketu. And then what you do is you mark 3 lines again, and then you look at the sublord of Ketu, the sign lord, sublord, star lord, sign lord, sublord of Saturn, sublord of star lord of Saturn, sign lord of Saturn, then sublord of Jupiter, star lord of Jupiter, and sign lord. And what happens is when you look at that, I'll give you one example here. So we go down to Ketu. This is the second house cusp here. This is the one you're gonna. So you have to now decide. You can set a nakshatra dial either as Saturn Ketu or Jupiter Ketu or Jupiter Saturn Ketu, Jupiter Ketu. If all of them are indicating, then they are strong. Now I'll show you what happens. Ketu. So you look at the sublord of, we go to Ketu here, and we see sign lord of Ketu is Venus, which is Taurus. So Venus, Mars, star lord, and Saturn. So Venus, Mars, Saturn. And what you do is you mark here Venus, Mars, and Saturn, right? And then when we see the 3 of Saturn, go and look at the sign lord, star lord, and sublord of Saturn. We come out here. Saturn is in own sign, so Saturn, Moon, Ketu. So we come out here and we mark Saturn, Moon, Ketu. And then we look at Pisces, which is Jupiter. Okay? Which is Jupiter. So go and look at the star lord, the sign lord, the star lord, and sublord of Jupiter. We come out here and we look at the sign lord is Jupiter here, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, because Jupiter is at 1633 Virgo. So Mercury, Moon, Saturn. Come out here and you mark it on your nakshatra dial, Mercury, Moon, Saturn. So here we go. Mercury, Moon, Saturn. Now what happens is, look at all of these. So Saturn is the sublord of Ketu. Saturn. Look at here whether Saturn is significator. We have one Saturn as significator. So yes, if it's significator, you mark it with a bracket. So sublord is significator. Look at the Mars. Is Mars a significator? Yes, Mars is significator here. Okay, because this is sign wise significator. Remember, this is KP significator, but we have to look at the Mars. So yes, if Mars, then you mark a square. Square means star lord, bracket is sublord, and is Venus significator. If we look at the planets marked here, we have Venus. Yes, Venus is. So we mark a double box like that. So mark a double box like that. Like that. Sign, star, sub. They all agree. Now we look at Saturn. Saturn is Ketu a significator? We don't see any Ketu. When you don't see any significator, what you do is you just mark a cross underneath. Like that. Moon, come out here and check moon. Your moon appears twice. One moon is the occupant and another sign wise here moon. So yes, moon is 2 times. So you mark a square like that. Okay. You can mark times 2 if you want. It's 2 times. Saturn was once. Okay, now we come out and check out Saturn. Again, Saturn is there. So Saturn is the significator. Then you mark, again you mark like that, double square. Like mark like that. Like that. That is the symbol. Mark a square and do 2 like that. Sign, star, sub. If it's not a significator, don't use bracket. If it's a significator, then you use a bracket. If it's not significator, you mark a cross. So the general for sublord is bracket. For starlord is 1 square. Mark like that. And for sign lord, mark square double. So you can clearly understand sublord, starlord, sign lord. Now we come to the final here. Jupiter. You check out Saturn. Yes, Saturn was the significator, remember? Here. Remember? Okay. So we put a bracket. Moon. Yes, moon was also a moon significator of the second house. Yes. Why not 2 times? So you put moon. And you can say times 2. And comes to Mercury. Mercury is appearing here once and 2 times. So yes, Mercury is. So the strongest nakshatra dial combination you can use is Jupiter and Ketu. Because moon appears twice, You can use Saturn and Ketu. But Saturn, one significator sub was missing. So this is the cohesive. This is strong. This one here. So Jupiter and Ketu. So what you do is, you can set your nakshatra dial. I'm just giving you one example. Here. The green is the indicator. So you say, what are you can say Jupiter and Ketu. So you go to Jupiter. Move that here. And Ketu, for example, here. See, Jupiter and Ketu set. So when you look at it, we have not used Saturn and Ketu. You can use Saturn and Ketu to set up a nakshatra dial there, but that will be not very strong. Saturn and Ketu there. Jupiter and Ketu is showing strong. Why? Because we have sublord wise, starlord wise, and sign lord wise. All signifies. Okay? This is a strong combination. That's how it works. You can use Saturn and Ketu, but you will get poor results. You will get results, but poor one. Like that, for example. So, for example, if we put Jupiter and Ketu there, you can use it for number 20 dial. So 20 dial, horses number 1, 4, 11, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22 were scratch. So use 20 dial and you see. And you use the significator of the second house, combine them, and then let me know what happens in the 20, if you have the winner or not. So this is the lesson for today. If you have any question, you ask me. This is the horoscope chart which we have used. Okay. Good luck, Alec.